over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price, turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
Come on! Wait up!
Is everyone ready to play?
I think the people involved, you get to meet a lot of people in football, and that's just one of the great things. Not only is the sport great, but the people involved. So fellow referees, players, coaches, even fans. I love officiating because it keeps me involved in football. I was a player, but I don't reckon I could cut it out there anymore, at least at any decent level. But as a referee, I get to be involved in high levels of football. Keeps me involved, keeps me fit, and is great fun. I think I have a moment of this is why I do this every week. It's always good fun to get out there, and there are tough moments, but being resilient and succeeding, even just in the little things throughout a match. I think embracing challenges is such an important skill to learn, and as a referee you surely come across a lot of them, and I certainly have. I reckon give it a go. You will face challenges, but that's a part of it, and I think embracing challenges is such an important skill to learn.
At Service FM, we know every workplace is different. Every challenge is unique. That's why we personalise our services to our customers' different needs across different industries. From medical to mining and manufacturing, hospitality to healthcare, commercial to defence. So when you need to create a better work environment, you need Service FM. Proud partner with Football South Australia.
Adelaide wakes up with 5AA, David Penberthy and Will Goodings, Tom Wren for sport, Jade Robran on the scene as it happens, Jess Adamson with the news that matters to Adelaide, Breakfast with David and Will, bringing together the names you trust with everything you need to know to start your day. Always live, always local and only on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Good afternoon and welcome to round 17 of the RAA National Premier League South Australia. We are counting down to our 2:30 kickoff between Adelaide City and Para Hills. A quick look at the table before we get things underway this afternoon. West Torrens Bacalla at the top, followed by Metro Stars, and they face off in match of the round tonight at TK Shuttle Reserve. But Adelaide City currently in third. That means a chance to climb the ladder if results fall the right way for them between West Torrens Bacalla and Metro Stars tonight. FK Beergrad in fourth with 3 wins on the trot, including against Playford City last week, who now sit in fifth. Croydon FC round out the top 6 after beating Adelaide United, who are now in 7th. West Adelaide, Sturt Lions and Campbelltown all finished round 16 tied on 18 points, with Adelaide Comets and Para Hills occupying 11th and 12th in the relegation zone. We'll talk more about what's already happened in round 17 shortly, and we'll also touch on the games happening this afternoon, including the ones that are due to kick off at 3 o'clock. But now let's talk about the one that we all came to see. Adelaide City, just one change made by coach Vas Parhas following last week's win against Adelaide Comets. It's been a busy week. They introduced 2 mid-season signings, but for today's lineup, just one change to the starting 11. In comes Francesco Scamitzi. Onto the bench goes Asad Kasumovic. For Para Hills, 2 changes made by head coach Joe Allison. Following a heavy loss to Metro Stars last week, they also had a busy week with some key departures, which left the door open for some new players to come in. For today's starting 11, in come Isael Di Cavallo and Alessandro Tronconi in goals. Out go Marley McFall and Caleb Robinson. Our officials tonight are Dennis Palisage, Mark Padros and Mon Badahur Kadka. And it's Simon Jimenez keeping you company for the next 90 minutes of football. And right on cue, we've got the 2 teams coming out. A little bit of an unfamiliar strip for Para Hills in red today. And their goal for today is very, very clear. Currently winless so far in season 2026. And although the battle to get out of relegation, you could probably see is maybe something that's already decided, they can start positioning themselves for next week with some of these young players that, next year rather, with some of these young players that have come in and looking to impress. As tough it is in the RAA NPLSA, it isn't a whole lot easier in the HPG Homes State League 1. So something that we're not going to talk too much about now because there's still a few rounds to come in this competition. We'll have the main walkouts in just a moment. Yeah, you can. Looks like we're just going to be a couple of minutes behind scheduled for our kickoff, which gives us a chance to talk about the other games that are happening this afternoon. Adelaide United Youth facing Campbelltown. Those teams in that congested area between 7th to 10th on the ladder, so a win will be critical for whoever comes out on top in that game. Sturt Lions playing Playford City. Playford City wanting to get some good form under their belt as they started the season really strongly, but things just been lacking consistency in the recent couple of months. And FK Beergrad host West Adelaide. That's a later kickoff today at 5 o'clock. And tonight, as we said, the match of the round, Metro Stars and West Torrens Bacalla, number 1 versus number 2, currently on the ladder. Just 1 point separates them. So a game with big implications for the RAA and NPLSA in that fixture. And of course we did have a match last night as well to kick off the round. Friday night doubleheader at LJ Hooker Mylan Sports Park, and in that one Croydon travelled and got a 4-1 win away. They opened the scoring in just the 15th minute. Adelaide Comets drew things up in the 36th thanks to Damian Luic. Oscar Slattery, it was Passia John that scored next to make it 2-1 with a 38th minute goal right after Luic scored. And after half-time, Oscar Slattery and Passia John putting the nail in the coffin for Croydon. And with that win, it's got some interesting effects on the ladder as it currently stands, because with that win in round 16, Croydon against Adelaide United Youth, they sort of cemented their place in the top 6. And as it stands at the moment, Croydon actually sit in 5th, just above Playford City. But again, Playford do have that match still to come this afternoon. That's elsewhere, though. Let's talk more about these two teams. As we said, for the visitors, Para Hills, things are quite clear. Still looking for valuable points so far this season. It's eluded them, and there's been a little bit of movement within the team throughout this season so far. They'll certainly go in as the underdog today against the team that currently sit in 3rd place. 9 wins, 5 draws, 2 losses. Above Adelaide City, Metro Stars and Bacalla. And we have kickoff. Once again, Para Hills as the visitors in red today. They'll be kicking from right to left, but Adelaide City with an early chance. Skinixi just caught off balance there. Now, Para Hills have a short-lived attack. Adelaide City just managed to keep it in, and that was Yared Abatu on the ball. Now it's with Oliver Weston. Finds Dom Costanzo on that left-hand side, but dispossessed. They do win it back quickly, though. His last week's sole goal scorer from last week, Karachiet. Now it's Adelaide City coming forward. Laurie Latanzio decides to go back. Sent central and cleared by the captain for Para Hills, Mark Hulage. And Adelaide City will build it up from the back again. Bailey O'Neill finds Oliver Weston. Bailey O'Neill, one of the 2 players that we mentioned that Adelaide City has picked up in recent weeks. Formerly of Adelaide United Youth. He had 4 appearances for Adelaide United Youth this year rather. He had 14 all up last year, in which he scored 2 goals. The other player that came across, who isn't featuring the lineup today, but he's on the bench, as Costanzo shoots. Alessandro Tronconet does well to save. Not out of danger yet, though. Here's Francesco Scamizzi. The only change to Adelaide City's starting 11 is his inclusion. Back to Abatu. Just to finish that earlier thought, Alex Battistella was the other player that's gone from Adelaide United to Adelaide City. And that one just goes wide from Luis Laurie Latanzio. So already a little bit of action up side of the pitch for Alessandro Troncone, one of the incoming players for Para Hills Knights this week. Formerly of Modbury Jets, there's been a little bit of a movement in goals for Para Hills, and Caleb Robinson has made some appearances. In fact, he was in goals for Para Hills last week. Lachlan Fusco was the go-to man from the start of the season, but he's suffered a pretty serious injury is what I've heard, so it looks like his season faces an early end. Adelaide City to throw in now. It's Nicholas Franchisi. Heavy collision between Yuto Nishi and Patrick Carachia. Carachia wearing the captain's armband for Adelaide City again today. But the usual captain, Nicholas Bucco, is back now and on the bench tonight, so no doubt we'll probably see a late appearance from Adelaide City stalwart. Speaking of long-term Adelaide City servants, we've got news that one of them has departed midweek as well. Matthew Dorber is no longer with Adelaide City. They break now. Kitano, and he does well, converts it early on. Yuki Kitano. And it's 1-0 to the home side. Makes Yuki Kitano's 11th goal so far for the year. Total goals scored so far during the NPL, 32 for Adelaide City. No secret that Para Hills go into this game as the underdogs. Heavy loss to Metro Stars last week. Here's Yamutso. Finds Adejo, and it goes out for an Adelaide City throw-in. Back to O'Neill. Abichu. Here's Franchisi, who fancies a run down the wing. He's got some support in there. It's Gamitsi, who lands to now via Yuki Kitano. But Skamitsi hasn't managed to stay on side. Hasn't managed to have a whole lot of starts for Adelaide City so far, Francesco Skamitsi, as he comes up for a header. Since he came over from Mowbray Jets, he was the go-to number 9 for that team last year and came over following them going down to State League 1. In terms of attacking power, he's got a fair few players to contend with, the likes of Asad Kasumovic, who's been a little bit more favoured in that position, having also come over during the most recent off-season. He spent last year with Oakley Cannons, formerly of Croydon, had spent some time with Adelaide City and 8 appearances for Adelaide United as well. So these sorts of opportunities for Francesco Skamitsi, he'd love to show what he's capable of. Kitano lays it back, falls to Franchisi. Abichu to O'Neill. Here's Oliver Weston again. Adelaide City building patiently here. Goes all the way back to John Hall. Probably be in the conversation for standout keepers so far this year. Adelaide City's John Hall, I'd imagine, although we saw a really impressive performance from keepers at both ends last night in the game between Comets and Croydon. Dakota Oxheim recently joining Comets' team as that goes over and ricochets off the crossbar. Possibly Para Hills got away with one there. Looks like Tronconi had judged pretty early on that wasn't going to fall in the back of the net. I imagine once it hit the crossbar, he probably thought it was a little bit too close for comfort. Here's Adejo. Just manages to keep Skamitsi and Costanzo at bay, and they still go forward. Here's De Cavallo All the way back to John Hall now for Adelaide City. Here's Oliver Weston. He's got Yuto Nishi to get past. Decides to track back as Laurie Latanzio arrives for reinforcement. Here's Franchisi. Costanzo. And Brissan finds Franchisi. As Adelaide City retreat. Now, we mentioned at the start of the broadcast that the game between number 1 and number 2 is one that Adelaide City will be watching closely, but Franchisi comes in now, crosses it, and they escape another Para Hills. Here's Yuto Nishi. Finds Sammy Adejo. Banked forward, but there's no one waiting there for Para Hills. It won't matter, though, because it's gone out for an Adelaide City throw-in. Just to revisit that point again, number 1 versus number 2. West Torrens Bacala against Metro Stars at Metro Stars tonight. In terms of Adelaide City's wish list, in terms of what they'd like to see tonight, it's probably a point each for those two sides. If Metro Stars do lose, it will allow Adelaide City to overtake them with a win. But given how tight that top 3 is at the moment, they'll probably be hoping that with still 5 matches to go after conclusion of this one, they'll just be hoping that the top of the table is as close as that can possibly be, especially given how few and far between those losses have come for West Torrens Bacala so far this year. Of course, not only is the premiership up for grabs by finishing top of the RA NPLSA ladder, but also passage into the Australian Championship as Para Hills break. Here's Sammy Adejo. He's got some reinforcements there in Bojan Kristic. Goes back to Nishi. Ends up falling to Yamazzo though, as Para Hills retreat. Looked promising for a moment there as Para Hills tried to build something from the back, and Yuki Kitano with a call for a foul there, not given. Now here's captain Mark Ulage with a fair bit of green grass in front of him. Nice ball slipped through to Sammy Adejo, but it's John Hall that gets there first. Looks like offside though. In terms of Para Hills' end of the ladder, I haven't done the mathematics, but you'd think that their fate is already decided. Just 1 point as a result of a draw so far this season. Interestingly, a club that we were talking about before, West Torrens Bacala, we had their situation earlier on in the year, which by fielding an ineligible player, Para Hills then ended up forfeiting that match. So that draw that they got at home reverts to a 3-0 defeat. And given they're at the bottom of the ladder at the moment, and they did manage to tie up with the team at the top of the league at the moment, as Weston comes in. Shot from distance for Laurie Latanzio, that eventually goes wide. Again, back to that West Torrens Bacala tie. Would have been a point that they could hold up with great pride. Alessandro Tronconi to take this goal kick. Franchisi quickly takes throw in, but he'll have to retake as the ball was still in play. Goes back to Yared Abichu. Here's Bailey O'Neill again. Finds Weston. And Para Hills win it back. Brissan just trying to make that attack short-lived, but Para Hills managed to keep it, only momentarily though, and they win it back again thanks to Jaden Cabos. Now they come forward. Loose ball picked up by Tronconi again. So 1-0 thanks to that goal in just the 5th minute. Thanks to Yuki Kitano. 14 minutes now gone on the One World LED and Sportal System scoreboard for all your indoor and outdoor LED solutions. Round 17 of the RAA National Premier League South Australia. Chat to a local who backs you and your team. It's better to be a member with RAA. Of course, the countdown is on as well to the Federation Cup final and also the Apex Steel WSL WNPL Cup as well. Both those games taking place next Saturday at Service FM Stadium. And for most of these NPL clubs, in fact, both of these two NPL clubs will get the week off with that, but there's going to be plenty of action with it. As Para Hills come forward, the flag is down, and John Hall saves. Not completely out of danger yet, but now they are. Patrick Carachia finds Costanzo. Costanzo still. He's got Franchisi coming for support, but switches it to Laurie Latanzio. Cross, probably not what he envisioned. And now Cabos battles as Brissan depossesses him. Scamitzi not affected with the touch in the end, and Para Hills deal with that build-up. Just to talk a little bit more about that Federation Cup final, of course, it's West Torrens Bacalla and West Adelaide facing off in the Apex Steel WSL WNPL Cup final, and Cumberland and FK Beergrad, who will both, of course, be taking part in the round of 32 in the Hahn Australia Cup. But first, they've got that big cup grand final to play out next week. It's going to be a big day of games on both the Saturday and the Sunday, so worth checking out. If you jump onto the Football SA website, it has all the ticketing details for you. Won by Adelaide City, but the best they can do is a throw-in. Abichu, O'Neill, Weston, Merritt does well to come in and play it out of bounds to safety. Costanzo picks it up, and it goes out again via a deflection for an Adelaide City throw-in. O'Neill back to Abichu. Weston tried to play to Laurie Latanzio, cutting in on the inside, but spills that they do win a free kick though. Over the top, it doesn't land kindly in the end for Laurie Latanzio. With that first goal, Yuki Kitano's season tally goes to 11. Asad Kasumovic and Dom Costanzo joint second on the goal tally for Adelaide City's leading scorers on 5 each. Here's Skibitsi. Does well to cleanly release the ball despite pressure from 4 different players in red, but eventually it goes out and it will be a Para Hills throw-in. Last time these two teams played, it was back on the 11th of April this year and ended up being a 3-1 win away for Adelaide City. Asad Kazumovic drawing first blood in the 34th minute. Yuki Kitano in the second half in the 62nd. And Para Hills did get one back in the 71st minute thanks to their captain Mark Hulage, who's on the ball now. But Yuki Kitano made it 3-1 in the end in just the 75th minute. Here's Costanzo, but the flag goes up swiftly. Bit of a mixture of fortunes between these two teams last year as well. For Adelaide City, it was a second place finish on the ladder and made it through to the semi-finals as well. They ended up defeating Croydon. No, it was Croydon, sorry, that defeated them in the semi-finals here at Adelaide City Park. And eventually went on to win the grand final against Metro Stars. It was 12 wins, 3 draws and 7 losses all up last year for Adelaide City. For Para Hills, pretty dramatically, narrowly avoided relegation with an equaliser after 90 minutes against Metro Stars at home. 8 goals scored in that particular matchup, and their final one was enough to just put them clear of Modbury Jets, who ended up being the ones relegated on that night alongside Adelaide Croatia Raiders, but hasn't quite been enough improvement from Para Hills to stake their claim this year. Shot and falls to the feet of Alessandro Tronconi. He goes short to Ulage. The draw won't get any easier for Para Hills. They're up against West Torrens Bagala, who I already mentioned that infamous draw that didn't stand as a draw in the end. They'll face them at Jack Smith Park, which is a bit of a tough trip against the current league leaders. Adelaide City will host Croydon next week, which will be another tough test for them. Followed by hosting West Torrens Bacala the following week. Not far away from kickoff in the other 2 afternoon games today as well. As we said before, Adelaide United Youth hosting Campbelltown at Service FM Stadium. Current number 7 versus number 10 on the ladder. And Sturt Lions will host Playford City. You could perhaps consider that the distance derby of the RAA NPLSA for this year. Playford currently in 6th spot. They suffered the loss 1-0 to FK Beergrad last week. And Sturt Lions also a little bit patchy for form, currently in 9th on 18 points. Worth touching on the Apex Steel WNPLSA as well. Big win for Adelaide Comets as they hosted FSA last night at LJ Hookham Island Sports Park. That ended up being a 5-0 win. Big performance from Kylie Pridham for Comets last night with 3 assists and 1 goal of her own. Meanwhile, West Adelaide put themselves back in the win in column 2 with a 3-0 win against Adelaide Uni away at Service FM Stadium thanks to Leonardo, Nina Yamada and Georgia Macri. Here's Adelaide City coming forward though. Lorilla Tanzio is looking to put into the path of Yuki Kitano, but Alessandro Tronconi, who continues to be busy this afternoon, gets there first. forced to deal with it quickly in that instance. Of course, one of the rule changes that we saw in the off-season was that time limit imposed for keepers to get rid of the ball. 8 seconds, 5 seconds of which has to be clearly indicated by the ref. If you see them counting down with their hand in the air, that's what they're up to. Mark Ulage does well to keep Scamitzi at bay, but eventually draws the foul. I was talking about last night's WNPL matches before I let myself get distracted there, and just to finish off that thought, Campbelltown City with a big win against Flinders United as well. That ended up being 8-0 at Service FM Stadium for the later kick-off game. Not far away from kick-off between Mowbray Vista and Salisbury Inter. They're going to get underway at 3:15 this afternoon. And Metro Stars will host West Torrens Bacalla at 4:30 this afternoon. So that's part one of that doubleheader at TK Shuttle Reserve tonight. And as part of that doubles header, they're also going to celebrate the First Nations round too. Costanzo finds Carachir. Now it's Scamitzi, who launches and scores. 2-0 now, the way of Adelaide City. And in the 26th minute, Adelaide City add to their tally. Also adds to doubles the tally for one Francesco Scamitzi, his second for the year. As we said, hasn't been getting a terrible lot of starting opportunity, so he'll be looking to inflict maximum damage today if he can, just to show what he's capable of. Ulage. Back to Yamatso. Finds Jacob Carbos, who plays it down the line. Boyan Kirstich will get there. He managed to keep it in. And goes out for an Adelaide City throw-in. Yamatso manages to evade Scamitzi and go back to Tronconi. Tronconi with the ball at his feet now, which means that countdown, that 8-second limit, doesn't apply as he plays it to Adejo. Ricocheted off his chest and fell to Carachir, who went to Scamitzi, and Adelaide City now build it back up from the two centre-backs. Here's O'Neill. Tried to find Kitano, but it's dealt with. Here's Yamatso. Being hotly pursued by both Oliver Weston and Patrick Carachir. Eventually Adelaide City win it. Here's Yuki Kitano. Franchisi now has a shot of his own, but will probably rather have had a do-over of that. Adelaide City players just returning from a warm-up on the bench for them today. And their captain, Nicholas Bucco, Fergus Lynch, and Charles Ayang, one of their recent pickups, who appeared a couple of weeks ago against Metro Stars here, Asad Kasumovic. And also, one of the players that they picked up in recent weeks, Alex Battistella, who's scored 4 goals in 15 appearances this year for Adelaide United Youth. Be interesting to see if he makes an appearance a little bit later today. Would probably slip into Yuki Kitano's current role, I'd imagine, playing as a number 10. Carbos. Back to Blomley. Looks up and sees Yamatso. Here's Ulaj. Tried to thread it through, but Skamitsi was there. A couple of new names on the bench for Para Hills as well. We've got Jordan Watson, Joel DeDonatis, Raj Chanhol, Oluwafemi Adeho, and Thomas Di Maria. I can tell you a little bit more about Thomas Di Maria. He's started this season with Mount Barker United in State League 2 and has since come across. It's one name I'm probably a little bit surprised to see him not as the starting keeper tonight, given they did bring him over, but I do hear there are some keeper woes at Para Hills as Catano tries from distance and just goes wide. Just to finish that point on the keeper woes for Para Hills, I did hear that there was a bit of an injury to one of the keepers a little bit earlier today as well, and of course Lachlan Fusco currently injured as well. But Alessandro Tronconi, just 18 years of age, doing the job today. Nishi. And Di Cavallo. And Para Hills win it back. 31 minutes gone now on the One World LED and Sportal System scoreboard for all your indoor and outdoor LED solutions. One back, but only momentarily. Ulage just trying to get enough space to clear, and Nishi probably tried to be a little bit crafty than he needed to and gave it up in the process. A collision now. Dennis Palisage just attending to Laurie Latanzio, who went down. And we're now underway in the two games with a 3 o'clock kickoff as well. Adelaide United Youth and Campbelltown, and Sturt Lions and Playford City. Here's Cabos. Back to Ulaj. Finds Yamatso. Blomley. And Nishi goes all the way back to Tronconi. Di Cavallo controls it off his chest, but gets some heavy contact from behind from Franchisi. Here's Brissan. Costanzo's waiting, and the flag does go up. Para Hills now just struggling to clear it from their defensive third, thanks for that pressure from Karachi and Costanzo. Eventually it goes down the other end, but as a result of Adelaide City going back and building it up all the way from John Hall, and now it's Bailey O'Neill taking it for a run. He's got Catano, Laurie Latanzio and Skamitsi all lined up there who want a piece of it. But we've seen one of the Para Hills players go down now, and our referee, Dennis Palisage, has pretty swiftly called for a trainer. We're seeing a trail of destruction from the Physio's bag being left behind as well. Can't see who the player that has gone down for Para Hills is. But our referee did call for a drainer very, very swiftly, so I'll be interested to go back and just see what the nature of that contact was. One of the great things about watching on FSA leagues is you can go back and see it again for yourself, and that's exactly what I'm doing now. I believe that may have been Yuto Nishi. To be honest, that didn't get a great view of it, but it looks like there was actually a sliding tackle from one of the Para Hills players, and he just got on the very end of it and sort of fell a little bit awkwardly after the contact, but he's come off and he's just getting a little bit of attention now. It's been given a handy larger screen to see it from, and we can see pretty clearly what's happened in that instance. It's a ball square in the face, so that would explain the wincing and a little bit of discomfort that we can see here, but once he shakes that off, it'll go back on, no doubt. Game continues with a Para Hills throw-in, but I'm still just having a little bit of a look here. And the whole bench sort of assessing Nishi at the moment. Looks like he really got it square on in the worst way possible. Nishi still being assessed as play continues. And meanwhile, John Hall deals with that loose ball at the edge of the 18-yard box. Now it looks like we are going to see a change for Para Hills, and I'll get you confirmation of the player that's coming on as soon as I can. Another clash and Yuki Kitano goes off. And it's going to be Damon Peake that comes on for Para Hills. And just judging by my team sheet, I believe he may have been a very late inclusion for Para Hills. So thrown into the deep end potentially to come on for Nishi following that ball to the face. Costanzo takes this free and it'll go all the way over the fence. So now putting that blow for Para Hills behind us. Now they've, I'd imagine, but just be setting themselves the immediate task of making it through to half-time unscathed. They concede in the 5th minute from Yuki Kitano, then again in the 25th minute, and now 38 minutes showing on the One World LED and Sportal System scoreboard for all your indoor and outdoor LED solutions. Karachiep finds O'Neill. Things still a little bit frantic, and Mark Ulage comes to calm things down for Para Hills as Tronconi bombs it long. Abichu gets their head to it, and Smitzy finds himself there. Over the top. ULH for Para Hills, that gets the touch to it. Here's Carbos. Blomley plays it through the middle, but there's no one there running onto it. Green Cheesy goes back to Brissan. Abichu finds Costanzo, who quickly tried to move it on, but spills in the process. Merritt finds Adejo. Managed to win it back, Adelaide City, but it spills again. And Brissan will get a clean touch as Kitano looks over the shoulder. Won't help the fact that he's offside, though, as the flag goes up. Brissan chose the near option in Franchisi, and eventually they go all the way back to John Hall. Here's O'Neill. Franchisi now. And Kitano decides to leave that one to go out. Just tick past the 10-minute mark in the other two games happening this afternoon. Service FM hosting Adelaide United Youth and Campbelltown. Sturt Lions and Playford City all tied up at the moment as well. Still to come this afternoon, Mowbray, Vista and Salisbury Inter and Metro Stars and West Torrens Bacalla in the Apex Steel WNPLSA. Meanwhile, the RAA NPLSA has FK Beergrad and West Adelaide with the 5 o'clock kickoff, and Metro Stars and West Torrens Bacalla at 7:15 as the whistle goes, and our referee turns his attention to another down Para Hills player. Ankle looks to be what he's holding on to there. He looks like he's fine to continue. Quick hydration break opportunity for a couple of the players. And Dennis Palisage will get us back underway via a drop ball. ULH finds Peak. Tano got a little touch on the ball there, but ULH continues. Here's Blomley. Merritt had got himself into a position where he's waiting for it there. And that's a good challenge. And Sammy Adejo now just trying to keep Bally O'Neill at bay. Will he find himself in a little bit of space? Eventually has a shot, but not a whole lot behind it. But a little bit of an awkward slip from one of the Adelaide City defenders. Maybe did him a little bit of a favour there, and haven't seen a terrible lot of opportunity for Para Hills. Franchisi looking for Kitano. Ends up falling to Costanzo after initial touch off the Para Hills player. Costanzo still to Carrichier. Now here's Brissan. He sort of lobbed it right in between Laurie Latanzio and Scamitzi, and ultimately just found Tronconi in his opposite shirt. Here's Weston. Kitano returns it. Costanzo. One back by Para Hills again, only momentarily though. Here's Laurie Latanzio. Just a lot of little failures of communication, it seems, between Adelaide City at times, but Para Hills not really able to punish it, to be honest. Abichu finds Scamitzi. It's Carachia. Yumazzo gets there just ahead of Yuki Kitano now. Sammy Adeho will battle with Ollie Weston. And Ollie Weston comes out on top. Had Dom Costanzo making a little bit of a run there. That one's intercepted again. Adeho fighting furiously with Carachia, but Adelaide City come on top once more. Cross attempt, but stifle once more. Here's Conti. Now Yumazzo. Finds Di Cavallo. Call for a handball from the Para Hills bench, but now it's Adelaide City on the attack. And Tronconi deals with it quickly, playing it out to Conti. So we're probably only just seconds away from half time now, despite Adelaide City getting 2 up and I'd say overall dominating play. They haven't been completely faultless, I think it's fair to say. Things have been sort of breaking down up front for them, just a little bit of miscommunication in that transition between midfield and those 3 runners going forward. And maybe giving Para Hills a little bit more look in than maybe they expected they'd be doing at this stage, I think is a fair assessment. Here's Oliver Weston. Kitano. Meanwhile, Para Hills, you can't fault them for the output they've shown in this half as well, and it does go into half-time 2-0 the way of the home side in Adelaide City. Quick score check from elsewhere before we go to a quick break. Still all tied up at Service FM between Adelaide United Youth and Campbelltown in the 17th minute, as is the case at Carigna between Sturt Lions and Playford City, 18 minutes in. It's round 17 of the RAA National Premier League South Australia. Just a reminder, next week the Federation Cup Grand Final and the Apex Steel WSL WNPL Cup Final. Details at Football SA. Pick up your tickets today.
For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
Introducing Carl's Jr. Star Boxes for taste and value that's out of this world. Choose a tasty ranch, original, Santa Fe or barbecue double cheeseburger and grab a small fries, all for only $6.95. Carl's Jr. Eat like you mean it.
I just want to make an impact.
Hop in.
Where are we going?
There are so many career paths with SAPOL, from operations to CSI. You could walk the beat or work somewhere a little quieter. If you want to make a difference, there's a career at SAPOL for you.
Hey, it's going to be all right.
Call up the search.
Find where you belong in blue. Search SAPOL Careers.
At Service FM, we know every workplace is different. Every challenge is unique. That's why we personalise our services to our customers' different needs across different industries. From medical to mining and manufacturing, hospitality to healthcare, commercial to defence. So when you need to create a better work environment, you need Service FM. Proud partner with Football South Australia.
And that's in! Dear Manton sees Harper's off his line. And he makes him pay.
I think the people involved, you get to meet a lot of people in football, and that's just one of the great things. Not only is the sport great, but the people involved. So fellow referees, players, coaches, even fans. I love officiating because it keeps me involved in football. I was a player, but I don't reckon I could cut it out there anymore, at least at any decent level. But as a referee, I get to be involved in high levels of football. Keeps me involved, keeps me fit, and is great fun. I think I have a moment of this is why I do this every week. It's always good fun to get out there, and there are tough moments, but being resilient and succeeding, even just in the little things throughout a match, I think embracing challenges is such an important skill to learn, and as a referee you'll surely come across a lot of them, and I certainly have. I reckon give it a go. You will face challenges, but that's a part of it, and I think embracing challenges is such an important skill to learn.
Introducing Carl's Jr. Star Boxes for taste and value that's out of this world. Choose a tasty ranch, original, Santa Fe or barbecue double cheeseburger and grab a small fries, all for only $6.95. Carl's Jr. Eat like you mean it.
Adelaide wakes up with 5AA, David Penberthy and Will Goodings. Tom Wren for sport. Jade Robran on the scene as it happens. Jess Adamson with the news that matters to Adelaide. Breakfast with David and Will, bringing together the names you trust with everything you need to know to start your day. Always live, always local and only on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
For over 25 years, HPG Homes have been helping South Australians build and own their dream home. Whether it's a house and land package, custom build or development, our HPG fixed price guarantee ensures no nasty surprises or price changes along the way. We're committed to quality, affordability and creating a way of life for you and your family. Fixed price, turnkey. It's gotta be HPG. HPG Homes.
So the Youth Club Championship, we've designed a structure where the under 13s, under 14s, under 15s and 16s all compete together as one club. They'll play at the same venue, they'll play one after each other. It allows the technical director to be at the venue to help educate and look after the coaches, and also there's a focus on player development.
Players are now knowing where they are at and the pathway to follow each year. If they continue with the YCC, they should be in a position where they can go into senior football. It's a lot clearer around the steps they need to take to keep tracking as a player.
We've created an additional YCC training session or seminar night. All the players involved had the opportunity to do an extra additional skills session development plan, and we had Adrian Stanter coming in to talk about how to become a more professional player from a younger age.
The fact that as a club we are investing heavily in the juniors to ensure that we're putting those tools in place that the YCC is wanting from us, that's certainly bringing around some benefits to the club and to junior development across the board.
Everyone's trying to obtain points for their club, but also with a strong focus on how do we create a competition where players can play against like players.
The one thing I have noticed is it's been a bit more focused on getting the balance right. So, you know, trying to keep the best teams playing against each other throughout the entire year and not having this big disparity between one team or another, one club or another.
So what it has allowed us to do is have quality games every week, which has benefited the competition and given the girls a chance to sort of understand what it's like to play at that elite level. While development is a good focus, the YCC does bring out the aspect of results as well, which helps find that balance for players to transition to senior football.
So I think with the YCC structure now in place, there's become a better level, and with a better level there's been higher intensity within our sessions, and that's allowed for greater development in terms of a player technically, tactically, and that's given them the best chance to keep improving their game.
Yeah, look, I think there's certainly brought around a lot of excitement to the club on YCC Day. The club's buzzing, a lot of the parents and players really enjoy seeing the kids play, and what is really now an elite pathway in junior football in our state.
Something that resonated with me right on the onset was about connecting a budding footballer with the right coach with the right club, and the right club being part of the right football environment. So the YCC tells me that this has been a fantastic implementation by Football South Australia.
Still in the box, and it's another goal!
Welcome back for the second half. Adelaide City against Para Hills rather, in the red kit this afternoon. Just to clarify, a little bit of an unfamiliar colour for them, but avoiding the clash as they play away. Apologies for joining you a little bit late. We had a triple substitution at half-time, so we're just trying to get a little bit of clarity of who came on and off. We did half of the job there. I can tell you who came on in a moment as Karachiet has a shot. It's spilled and the whistle goes. There was offside somewhere in the mix there. So 2 changes for Adelaide City. It's the captain, Nick Bucco, that's come on alongside Asad Kasumovic. And for Para Hills, Jordan Watson has come on, I believe, one of the new pickups for Para Hills. So despite the 2-0 deficit, given the context of some of the recent results for Para Hills, they'll probably be not overly disappointed with the first half effort they put forth, but also not a whole lot of opportunity created as well for Adelaide City. They'll just be looking to lift as well a little bit from the first half too. And here they come trying to create something. Here's Bailey O'Neill. Just evading Damien Conti. It seems like it started with a little bit more pace and intensity than we did so in the first half. Cross comes in and Mark Ulage tried to clear it immediately, didn't do so, but eventually does. Here's Abichu. Manages to evade the sub for Para Hills. So he's sitting up front is Jacob Watson. So maybe looking to address that situation a little bit with the lack of opportunity. Here's Karachiet. A little bit light with the touch, and Para Hills clear. Here's Sami Adeho, who's dispossessed by Franchisi. Throwing now for Para Hills. So we've just heard over the loudspeaker a couple of the changes. Daniel Brissan, who was sitting as a centre mid type of role. One of the players coming off, making way for Asad Kasumovic. And I believe the other one was Skimitsi that came off potentially. Ball goes out. It'll be an Adelaide City throw-in.
Get to it, Dave! Good boy! Time!
Goes out. It will be a Para Hills throw-in.
Let's go!
Yamato. Buko finds Gitano, but Peak comes in and finds Sami Adeho, who's got a fair bit of space. Watson wants it. And Adeho looked like a through ball. Ended up being a shot in the end. Here's Ollie Weston. Buko threads it through to Kasumovic, who plays this on for Laurie Latanzio. He's got Merritt coming into pursuant for Adelaide City. Costanzo comes in for support. And that goes out for an Adelaide City throw-in. Weston goes back to John Hall. Here's Yaron Abatu. Weston finds O'Neill. Kitano is waiting there, but the flag goes up. Got a little bit of a gardening challenge that we're dealing with at the moment. And it's fallen onto the captain, Nicholas Buko, to do that. You can add that to his list of skill sets. Captaining Adelaide City, selling real estate, and also doing pitch maintenance. Just getting some additional info around the substitute that came on at halftime for Para Hills. As I said, there's been a lot of movement, which at times is a little bit tricky to keep abreast of. But what I can tell you about Jordan Watson is that he's 21 years of age, British origin, and he's played so far this year with Port Adelaide Pirates. So coming across for the back end to help out at Para Hills. Isael Di Carvalho, one of the players that came into the starting 11 for Para Hills today. He's a 35-year-old Brazilian. And we had another player come on in the first half as well, which wasn't on my original team sheet, so I'm led to believe was possibly a very late inclusion, and that was Damon Peak, who 22 years of age and seems to be another player that's making his first start with Para Hills, and seems he's also come over from Pirates as well. So there's 3 personnel at least that have come to help bolster Para Hills. This cross comes in, but the whistle goes. And I think at least in terms of recent performances that we've seen from Para Hills, and there's been some pretty heavy defeats within them. 9-0 at home to Metro Stars last week, 6-0 loss the week before, 5-1 the week before that. I think they put forth something slightly better today, which is good to see. Like we said, the relegation picture seems to be all but decided at the moment. Not that I want to speak too soon, but just being realistic about it. And it's a real chance for multiple players, both the ones that have come up from the reserves to help out and also the ones that have come through State League 1 to show their quality too. O'Neill finds Kasumovic. He checked over his shoulder to see Franchisi coming on the overlap. Chose Abitu instead. Now he finds Franchisi. Uses the footwork to evade Carbos, and free kick goes the way of Para Hills. Adelaide City rather, taken quickly. Deho goes up and wins their header just ahead of Ollie Weston. The half-time sub, Kasumovic, dispossessed. And now it's Para Hills going forward. Here's Jordan Watson, who goes to ground. A little look up to Dennis Palisage, whose whistle doesn't go. Weston finds his captain, Nicholas Bucco. Abitu goes back to John Hall. O'Neill goes central to Carrichia. They're just struggling to play it into midfield at the moment, Adelaide City, but now they do, and it's Dominic Costanzo utilising his space. Tried to slip it through to either Catano or Franchisi, but spills in the process. Now it's Sammy Adeho for Para Hills. Here's Di Cavallo. Back to Adeho. Goes down, and Adelaide City have won it back, and initial attempt from Carrichia was poor. And the second one he finds Bucco. And that's well won by Para Hills, and now they'll have a chance to build something on the counter. And bit of interaction on the pitch. Kasumovic shoots, but it's deflected. It will be in Adelaide City corner. It's going to be Dominic Costanzo. That takes it. Right-footed outswinger incoming. Para Hills deal with it well initially. Maybe just a little bit of panic after it was played out from Sammy Adeho because it goes out for an Adelaide City throw-in. Whistle goes, and it will be a Para Hills free kick. The referee, Dennis Palisage, just trying to ensure that calm is maintained. Just finding a little bit of information on one of the players that we mentioned before, one of the incoming ones for Para Hills, and that's Isael Di Carvalho. Just trying to find his playing history. The 35-year-old Brazilian, and as you'd expect, a lot of that is in Portuguese, indicating his time in Brazil, but also played some time playing in Launceston as well, from what I can gather. Here's Adelaide City. Tom Costanzo again. Goes to Franchese, who came on the overlap, and a bit of a dangerous ball bobbles inside the 18-yard box, and Para Hills do very well to evade the incoming Nicholas Bucco. Tried to centre it, if not for Karachia getting the way. Second one's a little bit better. There's Di Carvalho having a little bit of involvement, but it's turned over. Goes all the way back to Alessandro Tronconi. There just seems to be something different about the way Para Hills have come out for this second half. Still no real opportunities presented, but they seem to be launching counters with just a little bit more gusto than what we did see in the first half. On the flip side, just Adelaide City not playing with the usual precision and intensity that they usually do, I think. Maybe a little bit scrappier through the midfield than we're accustomed to seeing. Sammy Adeho dispossessed by Bailey O'Neill, and Ollie Weston finds Costanzo. Here's Laurie Latanzio as Di Carvalho comes in strongly and dispossesses. The whistle goes quickly, and it's a yellow card shown to the Brazilian. Vas Parhouse gets his final warning from Dennis Palisage. And it's going to be Bucco that takes the free kick, seemingly, although Asad Kazumovic is nearby as well. We've seen him convert pretty spectacularly so far this season as well. Just having a quick look at that challenge again. Upon replay, it just looks like it was a little bit more of a barreling challenge than it did from our position when we initially saw it live. Of course, our ref with a bit of a closer view than what we've got from here. So still Bucco and Kasimovic presiding over this one. Four-man wall for Para Hills. Young Alessandro Tronconi, 18-year-old, in goals for Para Hills today as Bucco launches it, and that's well saved. Beautifully done, and rightfully so. Gets an applause from the bench, who is just fighting to the action as well. We're going to see a change from both benches, actually. For Adelaide City, it's Alex Battistella that's coming on. We spoke about him in the first half. Coming to the side along with Bailey O'Neill from Adelaide United Youth. He's got 4 goals from 15 appearances. And for Para Hills, it's the Brazilian Isael Di Carvalho that has come off. making way for Joel De Donatis. Another former Port Adelaide player, funnily enough. Also spent time with Modbury Vista and also Adelaide United Youth as that goes down the middle. A little bit of a half appeal for something from the City contingent, but it will just be a corner. Still a lot of additional discussion seems like it's being had at the edge of that 6-yard box. And that's cleared by Yumatso. It'll be an Adelaide City throw-in. Weston finds Bucco. Yumatso only clears it as far as Dom Costanzo, who puts that off the edge of his boot and it goes out for a goal kick. What a save that was from Alessandro Tronconi just moments ago. Came into the side, one of the two changes going into this for Caleb Robinson, the backup keeper, since Lachlan Fusco came out of the side due to injury. Conti to throw in. Back to Conti. Tried to slip it through to Adejo, but Adelaide City win it back. Here's Bucco. Finds Costanzo beautifully. He's got Ulage to get past, does so. Gets past the second player, and eventually it's Gaetano that launches, and it's put out. Jay Allison's on his feet from the Para Hills bench at the moment, looking encouraged by what he's seeing. Still 2-0 on the One World LED and Sportal System scoreboard for all your indoor and outdoor LED solutions. Only took 5 minutes for Adelaide City to get off the mark in the first half. Before Schimitzi scored in the 26th minute as well, and nothing since then. And Para Hills just be seeming to get a little bit stronger as time goes on. Still being seeing some opportunities pop up here and there for Adelaide City, but just dealing with them with a little bit more conviction and even at times managing to muster up a counter-attack. Tronconi sends his troops up and gives himself a bit of a run-up. Falls to the head of Bucco. Now Conti will clear. Habitu goes up for Adelaide City, but it falls to Watson. Now Ulage over the top. Here's Sammy Adejo, although the flag does go up. The whistle goes as a result of that collision between Joel De Donatis and Oliver Weston. Karashier played it forward. Was hoping to play Asad Kasumovic on, but only fell to Tronconi. Karashier wins it back high. Finds Kasumovic and stopped again by Para Hills. Here's Ulage. Yumatso. Ulage looks up, but only played it to the feet of Karashier. Now it's with Kasumovic again as he lines up the cross and ends up going over that crossbar. Evidently, it's caught a deflection somewhere along the way because it will be a corner. Dom Costanzo to take as he did the last one. The tall timber arriving for Adelaide City and Abichu and Kasumovic. Kasumovic just placing himself at the front post. Catano's right in the mix as well. And very well done by Tronconi to reach up and claim that. It was interesting just watching the setup there to see that one of the shorter players in the mix there was the keeper. Watson wants it from Adejo, who ends up going short to Carbos. Goes out for a Para Hills throw-in. Blomley. His Merritt. It's put out in the end by Battistella for a throw-in in a very advanced position. And again, Para Hills bench encouraged from what they're seeing at the moment. DeZanatis and Conti presenting as an option. Just waiting for a couple of more players in red to present. Watson. Looks like he almost sent a loose ball into the 18-yard box for Yamutso to claim. And Para Hills not quite able to keep that in play. It will be an Adelaide City throw-in. So 68 minutes now on the One World LED and Sportal System scoreboard for all your indoor and outdoor LED solutions. If we're being really honest about what we expected going into this game, it was probably for it to be a really, really tough outing for Para Hills. And although Adelaide City scored early, in fact, they got the 2 in the first half, Para Hills performing quite well at the moment as the flag goes up for Costanzo being caught offside. Now Dennis Palisage is making his way over to Vaspajas. He did get what he was told was a final warning about 5 minutes ago. Alessandro Tronconi ready to take the free kick, but we'll just have to wait for this to play out. Seems to just be a little bit of a disagreement from Adelaide City for that offside call. Buko does well to get his foot on that as Asar Kasumovic launches it and sends Costanzo to chase, and the flag goes up again. No protest from the bench this time. In fact, the coach is letting Tom Costanzo know about it this time. DeDonatis. Call for handball quickly waved off. Here's Kasumovic. Launched it, but it took a quick deflection. Now it's Para Hills with a chance to respond. DeDonatis with a flick that does eventually find Watson, who gets a push, which is spotted by Dennis Palisage. Waters a free kick. Bailey O'Neill trying to claim it wasn't a push, but that's not the way it was seen by the referee. You can rewind it on FSA leagues and decide how you saw it. So to DeDonatis. Ulage. Watson should get to this first, does so, and goes to ground. A little bit of a call from the bench for a pen. Doesn't look like it was taken seriously on the pitch, though. Round 17 of the RAA National Premier League South Australia. chat to a local who backs you and your team. It's better to be a member with REA. As the ball goes out of play, countdown is on to the Federation Cup final and the Apex Steel WSL WNPL Cup final next week. Full day of action, in fact. Jump onto the NPLSA website to check out the full schedule of events for next weekend, and of course grab your tickets as well. It's going to be one not to be missed. Headlined, of course, by West Torrens, Bacalla and West Adelaide in the Women's Cup final, and Cumberland United and FK Beergrad in the Men's Cup final. Meanwhile, real opportunity here for Para Hills to create something despite their general play just being a little bit more encouraging in the second half. Haven't been a whole lot of opportunities. Maybe they can create something from the spot here. Got Watson, one of the key players, just trying to battle through that line of black and white. That'll be an Adelaide City goal kick. Two other games in progress at the moment. Well, not right at this moment, because half-time in the two goalless draws to this point between Adelaide United Youth and Campbelltown, Sturt Lions and Playford City. As John Hall clears. But of course later tonight, FK Beergrad hosting West Adelaide at Frank Mitchell, 5 o'clock kickoff. And a little bit later tonight at TK Shuttle Reserve, 7:15 kickoff between number 1 and 2 on the ladder at the moment. West Torrens Bacalla visiting Metro Stars. So 2 great games to choose from, 2 different sides of town. Get out and check out some local football if you can't. We'll be covering it on FSA Leagues as Costanzo loses his footing. Perhaps luckily for Para Hills. Here's Bailey O'Neill. Tried to play it to Bucco. And Para Hills win it back again. Here's DeDonatis and Watson running for it, but that ground's easily covered by John Hall, who quickly plays it on to Oliver Weston. So as the live ladder stands at the moment, with 3 points, Adelaide City will slide into first place, just ahead of West Torrens Bacalla on goal difference. So if Adelaide City do make away with the win, it will probably be I think it will be actually the first time that they slide into first place this year, although that game is still to play out. If it's on equal points, West Torrens Bacalla will slip back into first. And if Metro Stars get the win, they'll jump from current third to first as well. So regardless, they won't be in first by the end of the round, but still to even hold that position for a short time. Be their best position so far for the year as Peak manages to just fend off Battistella. Here's Yamazzo. Adejo on the run. He's got Yamazzo arriving in support, and Watson wants it in the middle. He tried to find Joel DeDonatis, but it's a poor ball in the end. It's put out of play for a Para Hills throw-in. DeDonatis finds Carbos, and now there's a fair few red shirts up there. Watson goes up, but it's Oliver Weston that gets ahead to it. And now Blomley comes into support, and Battistella commits the foul. So another free kick the way of Para Hills. We saw one from the opposite side, and now this one's just a little bit more square. Just 2 players in the wall. Some of the taller players for Para Hills include Ulaj and Watson and Peak there as well. Well, DeGenaris has the option to go direct, which is what he ended up doing. It ended up being a slower, loopier ball that wasn't going to trouble John Hall in the end. Here's Bucco. Quickly plays it to Battistella. Yuki Gitano will try to get there first, but Tronconi does well again. So Kasumovic wins it high up the pitch. Waits for some support and eventually goes down. And the whistle goes. So a darting run from Asad Kasumovic, just forcing a little bit of panic from Para Hills and eventually giving away the penalty. And despite a pretty good efforts we've seen from Para Hills so far this half, real likelihood that Adelaide City will put themselves 3 up now. And that's a beautiful save. And that second ball, fluffed by Dom Costanzo. Wow, what a performance we've seen from the 18-year-old Alessandro Tronconi today. He saved that earlier free kick. And then the pen against the experienced Dom Costanzo, one of the standout players in NPL New South Wales last year. He sets flight, gets in front of it, and then the pressure was on Dom Costanzo to finish, who put it straight over the crossbar, and now he comes off quite frustrated. And Charles A. Yang is sent on for Adelaide City. Well, Para Hills continue to surprise us in the second half, don't they? Just a real lift in general play. Seemingly frustrating Adelaide City a little bit now, just judging by some of these antics that we're seeing from a couple of the Adelaide City players. Bally O'Neill's getting us talking to for at least the second time, I can recall. And Tronconi sends it long. So going back to Para Hills, they just seem to be growing in confidence at the moment, and the fact that they were able to deny Adelaide City a third there might be just the thing to spur them on for the final parts of this match as Peak comes in, gets a foot. Battistella eventually launches the cross and Bucco hits it. Intercepted. DeGenaris. O'Neill judges it well to get a touch to it just ahead of Semi Adejo. That's Franchisi. Back to Abitsu. Karachia to Weston. Here's Peak. That, I guess, unexpected sub in the first half after Yuto Nishi got a very unfortunate ball square to the face. Peak came on for him. And as I said earlier as well, I believe he was a very late inclusion on the team sheet as well, because he wasn't on the initial one that we saw. Tronconi just lets that one go over. Kasumovic. Found Karachia, but he went to ground. Here's Joel DeGenaris. Dispossessed. Back with Karachia now. As Kasumovic goes to Ayang. And it goes out. It will be a Adelaide City throw-in. Probably hear some strange noises from the pitch at the moment. We've got a little bit of wildlife here at Adelaide City Park. John Hall's made himself a couple of friends with some local birds, and he looks a little bit confused about what to do at the moment. Not sure if the camera's catching that, but we saw Nick Bucco do a little bit of landscaping duty, and now John Hall's doing wildlife control. Most vocal of his hecklers, and pretty persistent too. Even Joe Allison is having a little bit of a laugh at that. That's our side plot for this afternoon. Meanwhile, Nicholas Bucco is getting ready to take this free kick. So far, able to convert during the second half, including that pen that was beautifully saved by Tronconi. And Dom Costanzo was unable to put it away after the deflection too. Here's John Hall. Finds Carachia. O'Neill. And again, it's well cleared by Para Hills. Still 0-0 now. 52nd minute at Surface FM Stadium between Adelaide United Youth and Campbelltown. 56th at Sturt Lions and Playford City. We've also got Mowbray Vista and Salisbury Inter currently at half-time, and a little bit of a surprising scoreline there too, with Mowbray Vista finding themselves up against Salisbury Inter. Salisbury Inter, of course, in terms of the live ladder situation, second on the ladder at the moment. Mowbray Vista in 8th, so certainly the underdogs in that fixture, Mowbray Vista, but they found themselves one up at half-time. Bailey O'Neill goes down, wins a free kick. Somehow we've still got those birds on the pitch in the same position that they were before, despite an NPL game happening. They seem pretty content at that part of the pitch, just heckling John Hall at the moment. Here's Yuki Kitano. Back to Franchisi. Back to Hall. Finds Bucco. Bucco goes back to Hall. Franchisi looks up, likes Kitano, and launches a run of his own. Spots Battistella as the players in red backtrack, and Tronconi forced again into action. A little bit of an unfortunate slip by Patrick Carachia inside the 18-yard box. Been a little bit of slipping and sliding so far this afternoon. Not surprising given the amount of rain we've had midweek and this natural grass pitch here that we've got at Adelaide City. One back again by Para Hills. Elijah was trying to thread it to Jordan Watson. Here's Ayang. And ends up with Bucco via Franchisi. Back with Ayang now, and gets a little bit of contact from Di Donatis and goes down. And Weston does well to dispossess Watson there. Now here's Weston assisting with the attack. Alessandro Tronconi, he can go to the room's a proud man today. After the effort he's put forth in goals. This keeper hasn't had a whole lot to do, to be perfectly honest. John Hall. Haven't spoken a terrible lot about the former Adelaide United, former Western Sydney Wanderers, former Sidley United, former Croydon and former Dandenong City keeper. Ayang again. He's got Battistella as support. Plays it back to Buko. Trying to send it central to Karachia, but it just goes out for a goal kick. Watson. And he goes out again, this time for an Adelaide City throw-in. Kitano. O'Neill finds Weston. Franchisi has plenty of space now. Does well to evade his first marker as Weston comes in to support again. Franchisi finding himself in unfamiliar territory on the left-hand side. Now here's Kitano. Di Donatis. That's well won by Sammy Adejo. Goes to Watson. He's trying to shake Bailey O'Neill and doesn't manage to do so. Buko. Battistella was the target, but Pete gets between it. Kitano. Slides in to get a touch to it and it goes wide. A little bit of conversation between the Para Hills defenders now. Corner is what was called. Well, Kitano got the first goal at the 5-minute mark. But he's had a little bit of a hard afternoon in the office, to be honest. Buko now will take this corner with Costanzo having come off. Lefty in swinger, that just goes past the back post, and Tronconi again. Fully outstretched, gets fingertips to it. Kasumovic, some very fancy footwork, finds Buko with a little flick, and eventually it's dealt with by Para Hills. They did manage to get another shot of it, but that's dealt with by the keeper. Is Di Donatis. What we have seen in the second half is, even if Para Hills build up for a nice counter, they seem to get a little bit lost along the way. Well, we're beyond 90 minutes now, and although we haven't seen any goals in response in the second half, I think Para Hills will overall be pleased with the progress that they've shown during the last 45 minutes. Not conceding as well, which is quite an achievement, having given away the pen as well. Free kick now for Adelaide City. Over two. O'Neill goes to Weston. Watson comes in and wins it. Weston does well to get it back and finds Kasumovic through a little bit of traffic. Yumazzo fighting now, and Karachia gets a little bit handsy. Ball over the through for Sammy Adejo, but the flag goes up. Para Hills bench were up and about because despite a couple of counter-attacking opportunities looking promising for a moment, there hasn't been a whole lot to cheer about for Para Hills in terms of building their own chances. Ayang. All the way back to John Hall. Abitu. Linking up with his captain in Nicholas Bucco. Here's Franchisi. Plays it centrally into Karachia. Here's Kasumovic. Gets through the first defender and eventually plays it into the arm of the second. No handball though. Yamazzo manages to keep it in. Here's DeGenatis. Another one of these counting opportunities. Can they do a little bit better? It's a nice ball through to Merritt, and he may get a shot off here. Oliver Weston has arrived and does the job. They do win a corner. Watson presented as a short option, but DeGenatis waves it off. Most of the players in red concentrate around the back post, but Bucco's there at the front and clears. One lonely defender in Yamazzo there, and John Hall comes over the top of the attacker to claim it. Now Catano's in a little bit of space, and it'll be one-on-one here with the keeper. And he fluffs it up just before the whistle goes. Now, interestingly, despite the 2-0 victory to Adelaide City, it seems like they aren't really celebrating too hard, and with Para Hills not having conceded in the second half, we'll probably take some pride out of this 2-0 loss, but regardless, 3 points go the way to Adelaide City, and with that, they find themselves at the top of the RAA NPLSA ladder. Of course, West Torrens Bacalla and Metro Stars still to play later tonight. Don't miss this one because they'll be knowing that Adelaide City are just hot on their heels at the moment, wanting to jump into first place should the opportunity arise. In terms of the live ladder, as we said, Adelaide City at the top at the moment, leading due to goal difference against West Torrens Bacalla. 35 points apiece, with Metro Stars in third on 34 at the moment. Thanks for joining us. Been a pleasure keeping you company throughout the last 90 minutes of football again. FK Beergrad and West Adelaide at Frank Mitchell Sports Park a little bit later this afternoon. And tonight, TK Shadow Reserve will host Metro Stars and West Torrens Bacalla. So get down if you can. If not, join us for the action on FSA Leagues. And don't forget too, next weekend, the Cup Final, the Apex Steel WSL WMPL Cup Final, the Federation Cup Final between Cumberland United and FK Beergrad. Jump onto Football SA to check the full schedule of matches throughout the day. It's going to be a big couple of days of action. And of course, grab your tickets as well. Time to say goodbye though for now from Adelaide City Park. We'll catch you next time.